we could have a moment of silence for Len Sandelsky. He was the chairman of our Construction Board of Appeals, a great public servant, a great human being. He's sorely be missed. Dennis, move to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder Barrett Belante. Freeholder Kenny.
Here.
Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Here. Ordinances, public hearing, final adoption. The clerk will read the ordinance.
Notice of this public hearing was published in the Home News Tribune on December 6, 2014. This public hearing was authorized at a meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders held December 4, 2014.
The clerk will read ordinance 14-419 by title only.
Reappropriation ordinance providing for the funding of certain costs associated with the closing of the existing Roosevelt Care Center, the partial demolition of a portion of the existing structure, and the renovation and conversion of the existing historic Roosevelt Care Center structure into a state-of-the-art senior housing facility by and in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, reappropriating excess bond proceeds in the amount of $8 million in existing county bond ordinances to finance the cost thereof, and authorizing the public hearing to be held on Thursday, December 18, 2014 at 7 p.m. and publication thereof.
At this time, I would like to open the meeting to the public to discuss, make any comments.
Hearing no public comment, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Valenti. All in roll call?
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
So moved.
Motion to adopt by Freeholder Valenti, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call?
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. We have some recognitions.
Yes, we do. First is recognizing Edison High School Marching Eagles, my alma mater, as they are U.S. Band's 2014 Group 3 Open National Champs. Next is recognizing Ralph Albanier, Department Head of Infrastructure Management, on the occasion of his retirement. Next is recognizing Eagle Scout James Peter Poandal of Metuchen, who is a member of Boy Scout Troop 74. Next is recognizing Jean Pierce as she receives the Thomas Dooley Humanitarian Award from the Middlesex and Somerset County AFL-CIO Labor Councils. And last is recognizing Jeffrey Vega on the occasion of his retirement from New Brunswick tomorrow.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valenti, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call?
Freeholder Armwood.
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Okay, Freeholder Charlie Tamaro.
Well, thank you. I'm going to ask Eric and Mark to bring in band members up front.
Wow. That's a big band. Incredible.
This was the state competition? National.
The grind. Oh my. How many are there? Pretty big. About 100? At least. There's gotta be 100.
Let's all give them a hand. Now, I wore my Edison High School Eagle red, although I'm a John P. Stevens graduate. But both my children graduated from Edison High School. We're here this evening to recognize and honor the Edison High School Marching Band and the Color Guard for winning for the second time a U.S. National Championship at the Meadowlands. Well, they call it MetLife Stadium, but I still call it Giant Stadium. And for this honor, and also for state champions. So this is an awesome group. I don't live too far from Edison High School, and I can hear them practicing in August in the heat. I can hear them practicing in the fall in the cold, and I've seen them at the games. They are unbelievable. There's so much work that goes into making this a success. And you can see it by this evening coming out here. I didn't expect this crowd tonight. I expected maybe a few would come out. And for your parking, I apologize for your parking. We'll blame that on our director, Ron Rios. He's in charge of the parking. I picked up something off the internet, and this really describes what a band member is. Marching band, life. Where were you Friday night? At the football game, marching at halftime. What about Saturday? Marching contest. Sunday, practicing for regions, states, counties. Monday after school, Tuesday, every other day of the school week. Marching, practicing. Come on, what do you think? I have another life or something? But there's another group that truly needs recognizing. Would all the band parents stand up, please? Let's give them a hand. You guys have the tough job. You got to make sure they do their practicing, they're on school on time, picking them up after school, taking them all the competitions. But you've done a great job, and you should be very proud of what you've accomplished and what your children have accomplished. We are also proud at the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Congratulations on a job well done. Did you want to say something, Ron? Sure. The director wants to say something.
I just want to say thank you for a job so well done. And I know it takes a lot of time and effort and sweat and tears sometimes, but you really made us proud by winning that championship. And kudos to all of you, the parents. It's an effort that's not an easy effort, as Freeholder Tamaro stated. But you know what? It's really something that you should be proud of, and these are memories that you'll never forget for the rest of your life. Congratulations.
Band leader come up. Mr. D. Nicola? Yes.
Well, I want to say thank you, obviously, to everyone here on the administrative end for having us and recognizing us. It's great to be teaching in an area where music, the arts are supported. All of this wouldn't be possible, as you already said, without the support of the parents, the Parent Association, but also we feel very fortunate that we're well funded. We have all the resources that we need to try to make the experience for the kids and the product that the kids put out on the field. We feel very fortunate that we get as much as we do. So we very much appreciate the efforts from everybody, whether it's here in Edison, everywhere that we could possibly get support from. We really just feel a tremendous amount of support. We appreciate that. I appreciate the kids. I mean, they work hard. They put up with a lot. Obviously, they'll tell you first thing, I'm very, very demanding. But we do hope that not only does this type of stuff give them memories to deal with and have going forward, but also teaches them the structure. And most of them probably aren't going to be musicians in life, but the structure and discipline that they learn through marching band is something that they continue forward in life to help make them successful. So thank you to everyone for making this possible, and thank you for recognizing us. We appreciate it.
looks like they're all here. Oh, I gotta do Ralph Alvin there too. If they wish to.
We could have a 2-minute recess if the band and the band parents want to leave. In case you have somewhere to go, you're more than welcome to. Before I recognize Freeholder tomorrow, I'd like to recognize former Freeholder, former County Treasurer Jim Phillips. Mrs. Phillips is here in attendance. And at this time, I'd like to recognize Freeholder Tamaro.
Okay, Ralph, there he is. Well, goodbyes are always tough. And this goodbye is even tough for me. But the entire Freeholder board, the whole county workforce, and the people of Middlesex County. It has come to the board's attention that on December 31st, 2014, Ralph Albanier, Department Head of Infrastructure Management and Director of Parks and Recreation, will retire after 40 years of dedicated and outstanding public service. Ralph started his career at Middlesex County in July of 1974 in the Planning Department, where he worked on land acquisition for park development as well as the county open space program. He was appointed Assistant County Superintendent in 1985 and oversaw all aspects of operation and administration of the county's vast park system. In 1994, Ralph was named Director of Parks and Recreation. Now in 1995, a wonderful thing happened to the county of Middlesex. Our voters overwhelmingly supported the establishment of the Open Space Farmland Preservation and Trust Fund, now known as the Open Space Recreation, Farmland, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund. This fund enabled Middlesex County to acquire and preserve thousands of open space and to add the John A. Phillips Park and Preserve, the Raritan Bay Waterfront Park, Old Bridge Waterfront Park, the David B. Carabio Park, the Stephen J. Pete Delina Sports Complex to the county's nationally recognized park system. Ralph, in working closely with the freeholders, was instrumental in acquiring these precious lands and creating top-notch recreational facilities. In 2011, during the restructuring of the Middlesex County government, Ralph was appointed Department Head in Infrastructure Management and expanding his oversight to include the offices of Engineering, Planning, Parks and Recreation, and Public Works. A planner by trade, a sports enthusiast, and a man of great character, Ralph Aldenier will sorely be missed. His leadership and hard work over the past 4 decades deserves not only to be commended but celebrated. His contributions are part of what makes Middlesex County the greatest county in the land. We wish him and his wife Bobby and their family many years of good health and happiness. I'd like to bring up Mrs. Phillips to say a few words.
Thank you, Freeholder Tamaro. When I heard Ralph was retiring, I wanted to come and congratulate him in person for 2 reasons. And the first is, one thing I know for sure is that Jim would be the first in line to wish Ralph well. Although wishing him well would have waited, because he probably would have been on the phone every day telling him not to leave. So as many of you know, Jim, he loved open space, and he secretly wanted half of Middlesex County to become open for parks and recreation. But Jim knew the first person that he should talk to when he had an idea for a park was Ralph, because he was the voice of reason. Jim really respected Ralph's opinion and his professional judgment, and he considered him a true friend. So on behalf of Jim Phillips, best of luck to you, Ralph, on your next adventure. And the second thing, as a lifelong resident of Middlesex County, I'd like to thank Ralph for being the quiet, steady hand behind the beautiful Middlesex County park system that enhances our lives and our children's lives. It is a gift that keeps on giving. Thank you and congratulations, Ralph, from the entire Phillips family. Have a happy, healthy, and long retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet, for coming here this evening. We appreciate it. At this time, we're going to do a video from Middlesex County and spotlight on Middlesex on Ralph.
Is the director of the Middlesex County Parks and Recreation Department, Ralph Albinair. Ralph has been the Parks and Recreation with the Parks and Recreation Department since 1982. He actually predates Dave Trebiel involving the county government because he came with the County Planning Board, I believe, back in 1974 as a planner. He's a graduate of Rutgers University, that we're proud of, and a graduate of Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. I notice New Yorkers like to say Brooklyn, not New York. I don't know how you got trained in Brooklyn for parks. And Ralph, how did you steal them to Middlesex County, the greatest county in the land?
Well, that's why, because it is the greatest county in the land.
Now, we have a county park police that now we call county police,
right?
And you're in charge of it, so I guess you're the police commissioner of Middlesex County.
I wouldn't brag about it too much, but...
oh, you should brag about it. It's a good...
You know, I always talk like a planner, you know.
No, you're talking like a preacher now.
If Ralph is getting Shakespeare and Presley together on the same night, that's pretty good. That is a good thing to do, right, Ralph?
I don't know, Len. If I get any more compliments from you, geez, it's wonderful.
So I played clarinet in New Brunswick High School, class of 48. So
there you are.
Maybe the band will let me play a solo.
You'll have to audition.
I got to audition first.
We're going to do that again. And
Absolutely.
And I think the freeholder, I'm sure would like to let us know who's going to be.
I'm not going to tell you what date, so you'll have to, really.
Oh, it's going to be a guessing game?
Yeah, it's going to be a guessing game.
All right.
But,
How about Labor Day weekend?
no, I don't think so.
No?
No, you're coming close, though.
Okay. And then our last play is the one that you always wanted to do, which is Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, Singing in the Rain, yeah.
And
with Gene Kelly, used to remember that when I was only 12 years old when I saw that picture.
Yes,
I'll give you my
sure.
age, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we're going to have actual rain. We are going to have
sure it rains that
wet rain.
Very good.
In the
wet rain, right?
on the stage. I'm a planner by education, so my goal is to always link open spaces. I think that to be able to go from one area of the county to another on trails and hikes, and should not just happen in the Appalachian Trail. It should happen right in your backyard. Right in your backyard. And
I should tell you that your message with your proposal for the establishment of a trust fund, I thought was one of the greatest things that I had ever seen. Not because you're here and because you're the freeholder director, but I thought that was one of the greatest steps that the county ever took.
You know what's interesting about the Plainsboro Preserve is that the first plan that was done, the first open space plan that was done for Middlesex County was done in 1930. And Plainsboro Pond was part of that master plan in 1930. Five of the sites that were proposed at that time are now county parks, and this is one of them. And it became a county park 70 years after it was first proposed.
I was fortunate enough to be part of the most recent major purchase and project that we've been involved with the open space is the Middlesex Greenway. And maybe you can elaborate a little bit on where that is, how that was acquired, and where the property is, and tell us a little background about that, because that was a major project that we're really proud of.
We were able to purchase it and develop a plan. And I think, Rick, you worked on the plan more than I did.
And Ralph does a good job with the Parks Department.
There's no doubt you're doing a great job at overseeing this.
And Ralph, I just want to say to you, keep up the good work. I know the Board of Freeholders are very proud of the outstanding job you've done with the parks and continue to do now with open space.
And certainly, Ralph, with your leadership, that's why our parks are so beautiful. And certainly the plays in the park is famous.
And Ralph Albinair, we hope you're here forever.
Often people will ask you, what is it about being a freeholder that you like? And I often say that it's the leadership that we have in this county, the employees that we have in this county, that as made what Davis coined as the greatest county in the land, and that's who's made it, is you, people like you, and people who work in our county every day and make our job easy, make our job enjoyable too. So thank you, for the 2 years we spent together. I know you'll love your retirement. I was walking behind you when you were coming to the meeting tonight, and I saw you just... Yeah! My last meeting. Well, congratulations, Ralph.
Thank you.
Ralph, before Ralph speaks, I'd like to say something, and then maybe the other freeholders would like to say a few words. But I would like to say this, that almost 7 years on the board for me, working with Ralph has been an absolute great experience. You've really taken us to another level. Your managing style, your friendship style, your personality, your professionalism. You're a planner by profession, but you're really a great human being that really has helped this county flourish in many, many ways and has affected so many people's lives that you have really no idea. And I'm truly grateful to say that I had the opportunity to work with you, and I can't thank you enough. And you definitely will be missed. And stay close, because we may still try to keep a leash on you a little bit for your expertise. But thank you so much, Ralph, and I hope you nothing but the best and a great, healthy, long retirement.
Thank you, Freeholder. Thanks.
Yes.
Any other freeholders?
I would like to say, Ralph, that it's been great knowing you and being on this Board of Freeholders for my 10th year. You are priceless, and I wish you a wonderful retirement, and I know you will have a good time. So enjoy, and thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
I just want to say that, Ralph, over the past, I knew of you before I got here, but I got to know you over the past year. And your pride and dedication in the work that you do is seen all over. And as Mrs. Phillips said, you're a very quiet person I've come to know. But where you shout and where you speak in volumes is the open space in the parks that are around this county and the beautiful work that you've done to preserve it. So congratulations, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Thanks.
The way that the freeholder director jumped in, I thought he had good news for us, that he had convinced you not to retire. He jumped on the microphone and said, well, before you speak, I thought he had negotiated something with you, and we were going to get some good news like that. But Ralph, I didn't get a chance to work with you for long, but I've got to say, of all the people that I met here in the county government when I first got on the freeholder board, you were one of the people who stood out as being so genuine, and you're one of those people who people can immediately see what's in your heart and see that you love what you do. And your work speaks for itself. And just on behalf of the Freeholder Board, I just really want to thank you, and on behalf of the county residents, for everything that you've done for us. And this is a tremendous loss. I wish you well in retirement, and if you reconsider, hopefully we can get the freeholder director to be excited again and interrupt like that. I really did. I thought when he put his hand down like that, I said, I want to say something. I thought he had talked to you for maybe 5 minutes beforehand, but obviously Freeholder Tamaro said you were dancing too much when you came in, so we didn't convince you. So, but best of luck. Thank you so much, Ralph, for what you've done.
Thank you, Freeholder.
It's been a long time, Ralph. We go back a long ways. Back, you became park director when I was mayor in Highland Park back in '95. So we've been working together for, I guess, close to 20 years, and 16 here on the Freeholder board back to '98 when I first got on. I echo everything that's been said, and I think what everyone needs to know is that it takes a very special type of a person in your type of a position to not only cater to the needs of a freeholder board and our wishes and desires, but to also be able to cater to the needs of every individual citizen and group that's in the community. It takes a special person and a special ability to be able to look at the large picture items, like sitting down with us and talking about millions of dollars worth of open space purchases, millions of dollars of capital improvements in our parks, but being also able to respond when one of us calls or a resident calls about something as simple as the need for another garbage can close to the tennis court, or the movement of a park bench from one section to another. Because even those issues were important, and even those issues got done. And all of those things, as Charlie said earlier, always make us look good. It's really what you all are capable of doing. But, you know, every time we ever called, and I'm sure I speak for everybody, you never said no. It was never an issue, never a problem. And I'm sure there were many times where we asked you for things that were either too much to ask for or weren't, you know, the easiest thing to accomplish, but somehow you got it done. And I also just want to make one last note, and that is not only with respect to open space and parks, but your commitment to cultural arts, the many years that you worked with Ann Ashkenas and the support that you gave her to see our cultural arts grow in this county, and of course the theater. So, you know, in so many different areas, your expertise really shined through, and appreciate your support and friendship.
Thank you, Freeholder.
John? Yeah, appreciate it. Ralph, I know I speak on behalf of all of the members and the staff at Middlesex County, the management team, the leadership team, the employees, that you've been an incredible force to the transformation of county government over the years. And you're really the bridge of wealth of experience that you brought to the table, and also the future of this place. And I know without you, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I believe I speak on behalf of all of the employees of Middlesex County. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we thank you for your friendship and your leadership.
Thank you, John.
Tom? Ralph, I think I have a special relationship with you because we spend so much time talking about parks and, you know, the myriad of issues that we have to address, whether it's through the DEP or the regulations that constantly get in our way, if you will. And I had an opportunity to work with Ralph for now going on 13 years. And the two things that really strike me about Ralph is, and I think it's a unique situation and it's such an asset to the county, the institutional knowledge that Ralph has with regard to the historic properties that we've acquired over the years. I think it was even referenced just briefly about knowing that one of the parks or several of the parks were, you know, first identified in 1930. And I think it really will be a great loss for the county to lose someone with that institutional knowledge, because it's so very, very important to put a perspective on the things that we do, whether it's the plays in the park or more to the point of the preservation of open space. And I know I've asked you and I've called you many times to get a little history of things to be able to put it in perspective, and I think that's a great loss. The other thing that, for me personally, that I won't ever forget, and I think it says so much about your character, is the relationship you had with Pete Delina for so many years. And I think we all can appreciate, you know, working with Pete on a day-to-day basis and how much he loved the parks and how you were able to work so closely with him. I really admired that. I thought it was a wonderful relationship that you had, and to have lost Pete the way we did is a tragedy, and now to see you go, it's just when we see these transitions, it puts it all in perspective. And I'm going to personally miss you a tremendous amount, but we know where to find you, so we'll be able to keep that institutional knowledge alive.
I will. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, you guys are being, and ladies, you're being more than generous with what you're telling me. I never realized that Spotlight ever had any humor in it. I'm not quite sure how Jane pulled that off. I mean, Jane has been guilty about Spotlight for, what was it, 16, 17 years that we've been doing it? 20? Because every time I turned around, there was another Spotlight to be done. And it wasn't my favorite part of the job, ever. It was a thing that you had to go do. But I never realized it was funny at times, And I mean, the only thing it proves is that, I mean, I've worked with so many great people. I mean, those little clips, Freeholder Cravio, like you said, Freeholder Delina, the people that were a big part of my life and they gave me the opportunity to move forward on what my job was. Now, I want to thank this board for placing so much trust in me. I want to thank John for recommending me to become part of the transition team that's seeing a new form of government, a new way of doing business in the county, which I think is the future, and for placing that trust in me at a pretty advanced age. And so I think that I have to thank the members, each one of you, the members of the boards, the decision makers, the policy makers. I want to thank all the department heads and office directors. Am I getting this right? Office director. So far, so good. Division managers. Good. Okay, heads. For being so helpful to me. I mean, whatever infrastructure encompasses everything, just about everything in the county, you touch something, and everybody has been really, really helpful, good colleagues, good people. And I always think that the people to thank the most are the people that are in the trenches. They're coming out to work every day. They go to the planning board, they sit behind the desks, they go to the engineering department, they go to the parks, they go everywhere to do a job. And those are really the people that I always counted on to get the job done. And thank you, Janet. Thank you for coming out. I mean, I really appreciate it. Jim and I had a super relationship. We were good friends. He walked me through a lot of quagmires here and there. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Presentation, right? Correspondence.
Excuse me. Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Motion to accept.
Motion.
Second.
Motion to accept by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Ken Arwood.
Thank you. No formal report other than for everyone to have a happy holiday season. Enjoy, be safe, and see you come our next meeting. But if I don't see you then, see you in 2015.
Thank you. Freeholder Charlie Kenny. Okay, he'll be right back, I guess.
He's coming.
There we go. Freeholder Kenny?
Yes, sir. Thought Freeholder Arnold was going to take longer.
And so when
Usually listening to his sweet voice down there. And today he's got to be real short. Just a couple items on my agenda tonight. The purchasing portal. The Middlesex County Purchasing Portal has been active now for the past 6 months. This portal enables our vendors to register for various commodities, get automatic notifications of bids and proposals, and view tabulations and see contracts awarded. The information is current for the bids and the proposals advertised and awarded after June 1st, 2014. One of the good things we have in this is that we also list all our cooperative contracts awarded after June 1st, 2014. And this is valuable information for our co-op members, which basically means that the towns out there that participate and want to participate can purchase off of the contracts that we have given out. And it saves those towns money. And I know one of the plans I have in the new year is to push forward on contacting these towns and make sure that they're taking advantage of the opportunity to purchase at what possibly could be a lower price than what they're getting, especially for big ticket items. We currently have more than 8,700 vendors registered on the portal, and we plan to begin posting bid and proposal opportunities for the engineering office in 2015. Another item that we have coming up right after the new year is going to be the cash management plan. We voted on our first one this past year to put in place, so we have an idea of how we're moving forward with our finances. It's something that the bond agencies really want to see, that you have a plan out there for not just today but in the future also. So we're finalizing the 2015 cash management plan, which will be adopted during the January 2nd reorg meeting. Our strategy will be to utilize state-of-the-art technology, expand investment options, and projected rate increases in order to maximize interest profits and lower bank fees. This result this will result in a savings for the taxpayers of Middlesex County. We have spent, Joe's office, Mr. Peretti, has spent the past year meeting with our banks, going out there, seeing what kind of fees we have that we're paying on, and seeing how we can move that money into either a different account at that bank or into a different bank that's going to offer us higher interest rate and lower fees, or no fees at all. No fees is the goal. So they've been working very hard in the finance office to achieve that. So I want to thank Joe. I want to thank Ann also for the purchasing portal, and her office for the work that putting that together. I know a couple more items real quick. I had the pleasure of being at the Fire Academy today with Freeholder Polos, and I know I was there on behalf of Freeholder Rios and Freeholder Barrett. Mike Gallagher, our fire marshal, was honored by the fire prevention specialist. Is that the correct name? Fire Protection Association is the Fire Inspector of the Year, and I just want to congratulate Mike on being recognized for that award. You know, it's one of those things that Mike has brought together a group of people, and I know Freeholder Polis will probably talk a little bit more, but brought together a group of emergency services for better communications, and I'm going to leave it there for him. And then the other thing I have is the holiday season is upon us. Hanukkah, we're in the midst of. Christmas is coming up. Whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope that it's a happy holiday, and I also hope that you have a healthy and happy New Year. That's all I have, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder H. James Polos.
Thank you, Director. Echo the sentiments of Freeholder Kenny. It was a wonderful celebration today. I want to congratulate Mike Gallagher. How about a round of applause for our awardee? His lovely family was there, his parents were there, and a recognition well-deserved, Mike, for what you do in our county. And we mentioned today, both Charlie and I, that fire prevention is somewhat off the radar screen. It's not as visible like the big fire engines that go to a fire scene, but the work that they do really makes our buildings, our life safer, our public safety safer, reduces death and injury, and we really congratulate you for what you've done something to be recognized by your peers. There probably is no better honor to receive than to be recognized by your peers for what you do. So again, congratulations to you and to your entire team. You have a wonderful department of folks there that do a great job in our county. Our Department of Weights and Measures, I mentioned one thing because it is the holiday season. The sale of gold is certainly something that people are doing right now during the Christmas and Hanukkah season to raise money to buy other gifts or pay other bills. Just to mention to you that surprise inspections were done by our Department of Weights and Measures through Bill Deinzer. Congratulations on a job well done. 4 violations were given. Approximately 26 stores were given warnings. That means that they were doing something incorrectly with respect to the rules that are established for the sale of gold. We recommend to everyone, it's important, if you're going to do any type of a sale of gold, make sure that you're going to a reputable business. You can contact our Weights and Measures office at 732-745-3852 to ask whether the business has been registered or there are any problems. You can look for a certificate of inspection on the wall for 2014. If it's not there, you should ask to see it. You should make sure that the scale has a certificate or decal on it that it's been inspected. And you should make sure that when the work is being done on your jewelry, such as weighing and so forth, it's being done in front of you. We like to think that there are a lot of great businesses in the county that are doing things the proper way, but unfortunately there are those out there that may not be, and we want to caution you to make sure that you have the right information to do the things the right way. In closing, I echo the sentiments of the rest of the board. I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday, and we should, especially in light of the horrific mass murder of young people in Pakistan, we should, and to think about that for a moment is just chilling to think that kids could be slaughtered like that in their schoolroom. What safer place for a child to be than in a classroom? To think that people can methodically, purposefully, and intentionally carry out such a heinous act tells us that it is something that we need to pray for in our own way, that those types of crimes don't occur. We need to pray as the new year is coming aboard for peace, not only within our country but around the world, because no person should have to experience that type of tragedy or terror.
Thank you, Freeholder Paulos. Freeholder Charlie Tamaro.
Thank you, Director, and this will be the last time I report on Josephine the Technicolor Dreamcoat this year. Celebrating 20 years. And their first show is on Friday, December 26th at 7. The second show is Saturday, December 27th. Did I say 26th, 27th? At 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. and Sunday, December 28th. So get your seats. They're going fast, and they're only $7. I also want to remind everybody about our famous Roosevelt Park Family Ice Skating Facility. You know, it's open to everybody, so get out there and enjoy the cool weather and the great ice. And if you have any questions, you can call Tracy Reed at 732-494-3785. And I also want to wish everybody a happy and healthy holiday, and our prayers go out to those young children that were massacred, you know, in Pakistan. So we pray for them. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Tamaro. Freeholder Blanquita Valenti.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. This past week, the Department of Aging feted the counselors, the SHIP counselors, who are all volunteers and work with our seniors. And it was a very nice event, and most of them were there. On the other end of the spectrum, we're talking about the homeless. Applications are now being accepted for the Kilmer Homes Affordable Housing Project, which is under construction in Edison on the former Camp Kilmer site. There are 88 low-income units and an additional 30 units specifically for homeless individuals and families. The development of the homeless units is part of the county's plan to end homelessness, and development funding from the county's Housing First Capital Fund was dedicated to this project. All applications for the homeless units submitted by December 22nd will be part of a random selection process to establish the order. They will be evaluated for eligibility. There will be a separate random selection process for affordable housing applications submitted by January the 5th. The units will be ready for occupancy starting in March. The affordable housing units have a preference for veterans and for households that may have been impacted by Superstorm Sandy. Anyone interested in an application for the homeless units can contact CCC Housing at 732-297-5840. Applications for the affordable housing units are available through the Alpert Group at 201-886-7806. December 21st is both the first day of winter and the longest night of the year. The December 21st, which is this Sunday, the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, along with many Middlesex County service providers and advocacy organizations, will join together to honor and memorialize all those Middlesex County residents who have died homeless, not only from exposure to the elements, but also due to lack of adequate health care and from hate crimes. The event will take place at Congregation Neve Shalom, 250 Grove Avenue in Metuchen at 6:30 p.m. Homeless Persons Memorial Day also serves as a kickoff for the Middlesex County Point-in-Time Project Homeless Connect, scheduled for January 28, 2015. Middlesex County will have 3 locations on January 28, 2015, where participants can fill out surveys and receive information on various government and community-related services, food, and an article of clothing. All the articles of clothing, such as coats, socks, and hats, provided to the homeless are obtained from donations from the public. To donate items or get additional information on the point in time, please call our County Office of Human Services at 732-745-4041, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you. I'd just like to make some comments. I want to first say congratulations to Mike Gallagher for the award that he got. Well deserved. You do a great job, and thank you for the work that you do along with your staff. But you really excelled, and thank you again for a great job. I'd like to thank my colleagues on the Freeholder Board for another great year that everybody worked so hard and diligently, and for your public service and commitment to the residents of Middlesex County. You really a great part of a great team. I'd also like to thank all the employees for another great year, because without all our employees, whether they're blue-collar workers, white-collar workers, office staff, in the fields, whatever, supervisory personnel, everyone made it a great year for Middlesex County. We flourished in the right direction. I can't say thank you enough, because you make our job really easy. And I'd like to say, wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and have a healthy New Year, most importantly. And I'd just like to everyone to be mindful. We have cold weather coming, and in the next few months, snow and ice. Just be careful walking and driving in the cars, because it can be hazardous, especially for the elderly, to just be mindful of the conditions that we have coming up in the next few months to be safe. Okay, this time, Mr. Kelso, do we have any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
This time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public on any discussion on any resolutions listed.
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Okay, Mr. Kelso.
Yes, Freeholder Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 14-2224 through 14-2343.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny, Freeholder Paulos.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valente.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. This time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public on any discussion.
Good evening, members of the board. Charles Cradaville from New Brunswick. I'd like to start by asking about the ordinance that was passed. Was it passed tonight?
Yes.
Okay. And so Can you just give me a brief overview of what the $8 million will go towards?
Yes. Part of it will go towards the funding of the remediation of the historic site prior to the demolition of the A-zone. It's the transitional costs associated with basically winterizing all of the facilities, and also the transition of staff from the 3 facilities to the 2 facilities.
Okay, and so when you say remediation, what would be remediated?
Well, there's asbestos tiles and piping that has to be removed before you can tear down a building. So from an environmental standpoint, all that has to be removed.
Okay, and can you say more specifically where the money is coming from?
We provided a list I can give you at the end of the meeting that gives a breakdown of the $8 million. But in general, essentially, each year we go out for capital dollars for capital projects. Through that process, once the particular project is completed, there is sometimes funding left over that we then reappropriate to future projects. In this case, the $8 million comes from a number of different areas, including money that was applied for facility improvements across of all of our facilities, both here out at Apple Orchard Lane, from HVAC units, rooftops replacement, for technology vehicles, and we have a list broken down for you of how the $8 million comprises, so we give it to you at the end of the meeting.
That'd be great, thank you. And can you just give me a preview of what the project actually will be when it's complete, and the time frame for when it would open?
Well, that project we've been working on for a while. It's going to be affordable senior housing, trying to make a 25% of that would be priority for veterans. And then, of course, it'll be, we're looking to be in a partnership with JFK for that whole property there, for whether it be for dialysis type of therapy, physical therapy. So it's going to be a senior housing, affordable, and again, for 25% priority towards veterans.
Okay, and is there a time frame for opening?
We can't say that right now because it's hard to say. I mean, we want to have shoveling ground next year. Hopefully, it'll be in the mid part of the year, but I can't say at this point if we'll be at that point, at that time of the year. But it'll be sometime of next year.
Okay. And what role will Penrose Properties play?
Penrose is the developer.
And they'll be the management role of maintaining the facility.
So the land and the building will remain owned by the county, but the tenants will pay their checks to Penrose?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the county gets a monthly cut of that? Or
the funding goes towards both the debt as well as the maintenance of the property over the life of the facility.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think maybe Penrose could have paid some of the $8 million since they're going to be benefiting from it.
Well, keep in mind, a lot of the funding will come through the tax credits that we have applied for, and the intent is that a good portion of that funding will come through that means. So,
okay. I do want to congratulate Mr. Albanier on his illustrious career and his retirement, well deserved. Credit where credit is due. I'm sure there's a lot of county employees who work really hard, and he seems like he's one of them. So I do want to say that I support a lot of the things he supports, such as connecting open spaces, and I think the Middlesex Greenway is a good step. But right near there, just a couple blocks away in Edison, there's a great amount of destruction going on where the Woodbridge Delivery Lateral natural gas pipeline is being constructed, and it is being constructed immediately next to residential homes, near hotels, and other buildings. I want the county freeholders to say for the record, is that acceptable in our county, our highly populated county, to be building natural gas pipelines right next to homes?
At this point, I don't...
Time.
Mr. Kelso, those are local...
Correct.
Local issues that are governed by the local municipalities.
But is it acceptable for our county?
Those are local issues. Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Not acceptable.
I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Fielder Tamaro, second by Fielder Valente. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Fielder Tamaro, second by Fielder Valente. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.